Sturgeon Shipyard always stood out to me as just a really fun stage. You have plenty of areas you can sort of make your way in from. There are different areas that you can just end up having small little 1v1s. In the beginning of my Splatoon days, this was definitely one of my favorite ones, and it rings true even now.
Yeah, definitely. So here we go, getting right into this. I'm so excited. We're going to kick off this crazy InkStorm Cup.
And we immediately see a Splatling on the side of Los Inklings. And I think the Explosher is also going to be a really good play here. The bubbles and the generally primary fire is going to just provide so much pressure into that point. It's like throwing it's like throwing burst bombs that do a lot more damage.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Explosher, a lot of people have been playing using that sprinkler and a little bit of object shredder with those bubbles is a really nice kit for this too, especially if you're able to get them in the middle of zone and really help to cap the zone with it.
And that mini Splatling is also going to be a good pick there. Ooh, but good job so far taking the zone.
Yeah, it looks like so far it's really gone back and forth. No team is able to kind of maintain control at the very beginning, but it looks like I'm not quite sure which colors are which here. I think Usual Suspects are
they're in orange.
Yeah, and it looks like they've kind of been able to get a little bit of a hold on the lead here.
Yeah, bless our little player tags right here. Oh, Sam just going to go down right there. Right now, it looks like Los Inklings in enough control. Oh, excuse me, pardon me. Usual Suspects in enough control right now. The bubbles are such a good way to keep up a consistent pressure for anyone approaching, trying to take the point. And look at this. Look at this. A great Explosher play. Even with the Ink Armor, just unable to fully get in. Although those bubbles are a great way to start.
Yeah, Nexus definitely was kind of holding down that zone there. Even with those bubbles coming in, they did not give the opportunity for Los Inklings to take zone there. So Usual Suspects does not have a penalty, and they're ticking down that clock very, very fast. So just under 10 seconds to go here. It looks like this could be game.
Yeah, but they are making enough of a comeback. Only 2 people left alive. The bubbles are there, but they're retaliating with more bubbles. Like, sorry, I appreciate your attempt, but that is going to be it with pretty much a sweep at the very last seconds there. That is going to be the first game.
Yeah, very good job there. You can definitely tell that both teams were, doing their hardest to try to make sure that they're able to, get in there, but great job to Usual Suspects.
And I gotta say, this is a personal pick. I do love, even though they lost, I love Cass's pick of the Carbon Roller Deco. Just able to throw all those little auto bombs is a great way to at least control the point. But unfortunately, that bubble play just kept them out and kept them in.
Yeah, 100%, and that's kind of what the bubbles are there to do, especially in splat zones. They want to make sure that they're covering zone and burst them as quick as you can in order to take control. So great job.
I wonder how they're going to change up their team comp, because we're going into Tower Control Snapper Canal. And I think the Splatling still really will work out here, being able to control some of the higher grounds. And if you control the higher ground in Snapper Canal when you immediately come out to spawn, you aren't getting spawn camped or anything like that, you're just going to be able to look down upon the field. And that entire open area where the tower is, you're going to be kind of dominated there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that, you need to be kind of paying attention to this one too, not just for that area that you're talking about, but those sections that go over the water. I always say, and kind of people laugh at me, but you have to be so careful on tower control on Snapper Canal because you can be pushed off that tower really easily.
See, like the last tournament I commentated, me and the commentator were really joking about, ha ha, har har, what if people fell in the water? It took 3 lives. It took 3 lives in that set. People just accidentally backing up into water, using the bubbler and pushing people into the water. Like, there are plenty of ways to actually get destroyed in that area.
Yeah, definitely. And that's where you just have to be so careful. And honestly, I kind of like watching people fall. I know that's terrible for me to say, right? Oof.
I don't know, man. Sometimes it has some comedic value, but we're going into it. It looks like we're seeing a lot of long range coming out from Usual Suspects, using at least 3 long range weapons. That might be enough here.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like it could be something that is really going to help them so far.
And immediately starting off with that wipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
This It's looking like a very good, effective first push. They're getting through that. They're demolishing that first checkpoint. And Sam just stays around the side here, going to be using that splashdown to keep himself safe, taking out Crispy and just coming around the back here. That person staying up top there is not going to expect it. Sam just tearing through.
Great flank there, definitely giving the opportunity for Usual Suspects to kind of maintain this lead and maybe push a little bit forward. They decide to get off the tower, which could be a good move at this point. But, you know, they're very quickly trying to get back onto it and just need to get a couple. Ooh, someone right into the water.
That's our one counter. We can keep that check mark that we're keeping off stream is active. I think this build of 3 long range and 1 splatter shot, though, is a very effective way of dealing with things. Because this Inkjet's usually very effective, but against so many long range pressures, it's going to be tough for them to advance. Already, no points coming out from the side of Los Inklings. It looks like good old Usual Suspects is going to be able to keep this push going.
Yeah, they just need to kind of get through that checkpoint there. That's one of the most frustrating checkpoints to get through on this map, but if you are able to break through it, it definitely helps you maintain your lead a lot easier. Los Inklings are doing everything that they can to kind of make sure that Usual Suspects doesn't get past that. So they are playing a really nice defense right now, but, you know, they need to be coming together to make their own push.
The double splatling off there, that was pretty good. The Stinger going to be coming out from Usual Suspects here, as it looks like they're just keeping people off. I don't know. Los Inklings got a point on the board. It couldn't mean anything right now, but oh my god, the wall, using the wall to deal the initial damage. That was such a smart play from our blaster right there.
Yeah, those walls have been, you know, really been shown a lot more lately too. Maybe it is that Tentabrella having the wall, maybe it's just that people are enjoying playing some of those other weapons that are using it, but we're seeing them more and more in a lot of different modes that you might not expect, so definitely something to be kind of questioned there.
Yeah, like it's a solid pick. I think just the general buff it got recently, where you're allowed to just constantly throw it out, is a very solid play.
Yeah, definitely looking like this blaster is coming in, trying to get a couple of picks, maybe off this splatling here, make sure that they're opening up a way for their team, the rest of their team to kind of come in and push this tower a little bit more. And Splatling finally spots them and is able to get the splat there, so.
Ooh, good job from Theresa. Yeah, it looks like Los Inklings are going to start to formulate their first proper push here. They've got to get rid of all these long-range threats. Right now, Celeste and everyone else just able to stick around up top. They haven't given them any ground at all, like not even gotten through the first checkpoint there.
Yeah, this is where they, you know, like you said, like they need to kind of be ready to kind of get through this checkpoint if they can. But so far, you know, they haven't really been able to do that. They are getting the picks that they need. They're just kind of not coming together. And when they are ready to make a coordinated push, it looks like Usual Suspects is just prepared with an answer to push back. So definitely something that they need to be working on a little bit. You know, they have the communication, just not coming together.
The double Stingray, though, was a very, very nice way of kicking off keeping this game going here.
Those Stingrays, too, having that patch where you can't be at your spawn to launch Stingray is absolutely awesome, because you see that over and over again. You know, which Stingray can kind of get the pick off the other one is very interesting.
Ooh, good stuff from Celeste. It looks like they're keeping this push going. They might be able to get past the second checkpoint with, you know, with 50 seconds left. It's a good thing to have here. Cass having enough armor to pop something for their team, although Ink armor popped from the other team too.
Yeah, and even though they are kind of in position, someone taken out over on that top right section is really not going to help them. You know, Nexus has been doing a lot of work cleaning up, building a lot of Stingrays very quickly this match. So, you know, that's going to keep, especially in tower control, everybody kind of at bay.
Yeah, that was a beautiful direct right there. And again, going down to the water, we talked about it. It's definitely a threat no matter what level you're playing right now. Great blaster play. And again, just this long range pressure. They just can't get close. Los Inklings are walled out.
Yeah, even right there, beautiful pick off on Theresa there. You know, Nexus just really cleaning up, and it looks like that is going to be game. So great job on the side of Usual Suspects for taking that second game.
Yeah, very solid 2-0 right there. Los Inklings could just never get their proper footing. They were able to get a couple points on there, but it was just every single time Usual Suspects would just run back down and be able to get something going. Yeah, and just look at that, man. All those kills just coming in very effectively there.
Yeah, and that's, exactly kind of what we want to be seeing from these weapons here. Everybody's really doing their job and making sure that they're paying attention to, what needs to get done here. So I can't wait to see what happens here next one on Rainmaker on Kelp Dome. So how do you feel about this? What are you looking to see? Anything specific? You
Ooh, Rainmaker Kelp Dome, man. This one, this one scares me a little bit. There's this stupid little
too.
choke point over on the right, and you can go around it by using the grates up top. But every time, at least I attempt to push, it's tough. You have to get through such a narrow choke point, and Stingray is going to be an extremely effective tool on this stage, with there just being so many walls that you can just pierce right through.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think for me, this is kind of one of my least favorite maps. I think, like you said, that choke point is so damaging to a team that if you can't find a way to kind of get around that, you're just never going to be able to make a push that you need. The grates are really interesting too. I know earlier today in Splat Zones, we had seen someone bringing out that Explosher. I don't think we're going to see that again because it doesn't really do so much on the grates. A lot of people have been realizing that you can't use it so well. It doesn't get as many picks as it might necessarily want to. So I'm super excited to see what they decide to do, changing up their comps here.
Yeah. There's another map, though, that the Splatling is also going to be pretty good on, just being able to fire through the grates, just look out from above.
Definitely. And they have that one little setup area kind of off to the left of spawn, where a lot of Splatlings tend to set up and just make sure that they're constantly getting those picks, keeping the enemy team within their spawn. They respawn, they're down. They respawn, they're down. And that's kind of what a Splatling is there to do on this map. So I wonder how well, we saw Nexus play a really great Splatling last round, and they were the last person to ready up, it looks like. So I'm wondering if they're going to decide to kind of stick with that or make a couple of changes.
All right, let's run into it. Rainmaker, Kelp Dome. Let's see what we got there. Right now, Usual Suspects up 2-0 in this set. Looking to try and make this a nice clean sweep, ideally. And let's go.
Very nice. And it looks like we have a couple of changes coming out. Nexus, who I did mention earlier, is on that pro, so that's going to be interesting. And we have an Octobrush, very interesting too.
Yeah, potentially just going to be good at shutting out areas. I mean, especially like by those walls. Like if they are able to get behind people, they're going to be able to clean up the kills. Going to be taking the kill on the Rainmaker before our player from Usual Suspects takes them out.
Yeah, that was a really quick full wipe there too.
Yeah, this mini Splatling is going to be taking advantage of those new buffs to its special, as it looks like they are going to be choosing to try and go in around the side here. And Crispy, again, taking out not only the Rainmaker, but another two people. Going to be a nice triple for them as he attempts to pick up the Rainmaker for a second there. It's a little bit questionable if he did or not, but looks like you're going to be starting up this game well.
Yeah, definitely. Each team kind of going back and forth. At this point, Los Inklings really needs to take this game, obviously. They need to kind of go after it right now. So Usual Suspects is going to be doing everything that they possibly can to make sure that that's not what happens.
Yeah, coming around the side right here. This rain is going to provide a little bit of pressure. Not going to be too awful, but the pro plus the missiles now providing so much more extra pressure with this newest patch. Not much they can do right here. They do actually manage to get a pick without going down. This could be something,
Beautiful.
but no, going to be shut down by those ranged, those excellent ranged dually Squelchers.
Yeah, the dually Squelchers got a huge nerf after this patch too. I know that a lot of my friends were pretty upset about it. So, it's definitely nice to see people still playing them, not really worrying about, how the range on them may have affected. So, not the range, sorry, the ink consumption may have been affected. So, that's great. But Teresa coming in here on the side, nice taking on the lead there, bringing that Rainmaker up. This is the point where they're in a lot of trouble. There's still a lot of members of the team there, so they can kind of effectively continue this push if they wanted to.
Yeah, it's just this little point right here. They want to try and secure all the members down that they possibly can and just try and make it through this gap, because this is what I was talking about. Right here, they're just going to be stopped every time unless they can formulate a proper push and just get down enough players to make something nice happen. Because even though that was a decent push, they, it's still up to Usual Suspects to, it's not impossible, rather, for Usual Suspects to run it right back at them.
Yes, that's what I love about Rainmaker. There's so many fast-paced opportunities for the objective to move throughout the map. In any map, really, but especially in something like in Kelp Dome, you have a lot of different ways you can go. But Usual Suspects, they really are kind of looking to get a couple of picks before they begin to push Rainmaker forward. Having that Stingray out is not going to help them a whole lot. So, they need to just work on kind of coming together. They go 2 down, which unfortunately is also not going to help them. So we'll see how this comes out now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Los Inklings would love to maintain this first lead right here. They do have 2 minutes left to go if they're looking for a timeout. And Crispy just sharking around right now, able to get more and more kills. We were talking about this Ink Brush a little bit earlier. It's pretty good. He's able to make it work. Just hiding around with I believe Ninja Squid, or if not Ninja Squid, just not Ninja Squid, but with enough swim speed to just keep himself threatening.
Yeah, I mean, even, unfortunately going down there, not really going to help him what he was kind of looking for, and that's a full team wipe on the side of Usual Suspects. So this is Los Inklings' opportunity to kind of really push forward much further than the 55 that they currently have it at. So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to do it. Crispy coming in, Cass kind of taking their time, just waiting for an opportunity. That Stingray is great defense right there. Missiles coming down, going to try to make it difficult for them to break in.
Yeah, only one person left alive, and they know they can't make a crazy push right now. And oh my god, the pressure from those from the Tenta missiles. They got upgraded, man. They just put a giant ring of death around you. You can't really approach too well when you're being targeted by one of those.
It's terrifying. If you have 10 missiles on you because you're the only member targeted, it's absolutely terrifying to just sit there and watch all of those targets like surround you everywhere you walk. Oh my gosh.
And it's really good in Rainmaker when you sometimes want to just target that single person. You can just make it really, really tough for them to get out safely. Just because, you're going to have that slowed down movement speed with the Rainmaker. It's going to be very hard to get out of that area.
Completely. Or even the Rainmaker Shield. The missiles now target Rainmaker Shield, which is a super interesting thing that's going to really change around how a lot of people play this. So, at this point, it's definitely going, in favor of Los Inklings. They do have Rainmaker, and that's kind of end of game. So great job for them there. This was the one that they needed to pick up in order to continue the set.
Yeah, they're on the boards. Finally, they got their first game. They don't want to get shut out. No one ever likes getting a 3-0 against them. So being able to run that back, I'm sure it's a great feeling. They're not dead yet. Never count someone out, even if it's the back's completely against the wall. That's when it gets scary.
Yes, absolutely. That's when you always need to kind of be ready and have that opportunity to kind of create as much more pressure as you can and, work towards everything that you need to be going for. So, I'm super excited to see how this goes now. We always talk about this idea of like a reverse sweep a little bit. So here we are on a game 3 and, Clam Blitz on Wahoo World.
Clam Blitz Wahoo World. That's something I personally don't know too well. If you have any insight on that.
I absolutely love Clam Blitz, and Wahoo World is is beautiful map to look at, but absolutely crazy to play. And it's something that's super frustrating when you're kind of coming through. If you're expecting those bridges to help you in mid, there's so much of it that's uninkable. And then if they kind of retract just when you need them, that gets very difficult to kind of move through. So you definitely need to utilize the sides of this map and be prepared to move throughout things, kind of come under the bridge and around that center area. So a lot of different teams play it in a little bit of a different manner. So it's going to be interesting to see how they come together and play this. Definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing probably a Splatling or 2 from the teams that can kind of set up in mid and use that range to cover where the rest of the team is kind of coming across under the bottom here. And I always am a fan of using that baller special for Clam Blitz. So I would love to see that too.
It's very effective, and of course, for the people who do not know at home, the baller, if you actually break the shield around the baller while they are carrying a power clam, they retain the power clam. Normally, when they explode with the baller, it shoots out the power clam in a random direction. But it's a strategy. If you want to deal with the baller, you either have to let it explode or break the canopy and be ready to immediately deal with the Inkling or Octoling inside.
Yeah, that's a very, very important thing to bring up. It's a huge PSA that I always make: never pop the ball.
Yep, you have to deal with it. You have to find some way to get out of its area.
Yeah, you definitely do. You need to be able to back off and kind of be prepared. If they just let time go out, they drop the power clam, you're able to get in and get that pick a lot faster. It might be a little bit of a better advantage there.
That's right. And going into the set right here. Ooh. Here we go. Open it up. Open it up.
So here we go. Yeah, it looks like so far both teams are kind of running a little bit of a range distance. I love that we see interesting, not the slosher that I was looking to see on either team, but definitely interesting here. You know, having that gal too, really great pick there. But so far it looks like the both teams have kind of the same amount of clams, but 2 going down on the side of usual suspects is going to be a little bit more challenging. They are respawning very quickly though and get another power clam.
Yeah, both teams right now with like a very similar amount of power clams. No one with the immediate upper hand. Although it looks like the Splatling play was very a very good defensive move. However, they were able to get through there and are going to be able to break the barrier, giving their team an opportunity to get some points in.
Yeah, it's definitely looks like it's something that is, you know, going to help them a whole lot. They are able to shut that down pretty quickly. A 71, though, is a pretty nice push on this map. And it looks like, you know, as the barrier closes up, you know, they're just going to pick up that pity clam pretty fast and try to begin to make this counter push.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a 71 point lead is not amazing. Or you know, you're being 39 points in. That is 2 power clams. If they could formulate a push with involving those, they could take something back here. And they do have it. They have it in their arsenal.
Definitely, you know, they have a couple of specials built for them and kind of ready to push forward. You know, using that, I believe somebody popped a ball and looks like we're going to that other side there. They're so close to the basket coming in with that power clam, but they do go down before they have, there's the ball right there. Gonna try to pick up that power clam really quickly and hope to get it in. I think Kaz does go down before they get it in, but they do break the barrier just before that.
Yeah, just so close to being able to taking that lead. And sometimes that's what happens. You enter those high pressure situations. If you get the ball, you get the situation, you have the basket broken, but just unable to get there in time. It's that desperate cling to being able to make it. But when the defense is good, the defense is good.
Yes, absolutely. Even those missiles coming in, you know, Nexus has these 9 clams, decides to pick up another one, you know, kind of waiting for this opportunity to go in. They do decide to push forward and make sort of a solo push. They are alone, but they do get that power clam in, even though it is a full team wipe. So great job there. Exactly kind of what we're looking for, you know, on that side there. So they do get it down to 65, which is a really nice point lead.
This mode is all about testing coordination and being able to move in well with the team, but sometimes you just need to be able to put a couple extra points on the board. Sometimes you know that either you're not getting extra points or you are getting extra points, and sometimes it's worth just being able to throw that in. And just because they were able to throw that 1 power clam in, they're able to maintain this lead, even though they were able to break one of the power clams from Los Inklings.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be looking at too. You want to make sure that you're, you know, kind of moving forward to you know, be ready with your team, have that communication like you were talking about, be available with your specials and ready to make a push forward. But you're right, sometimes, you know, that solo push is going to help. You just need to be careful because if it fails and you only get 1 power clam in, it might be a little bit frustrating, you know, when the pity clam drops and now you have an opportunity for the team to come back.
Yeah, it's definitely a little risky. And every single time we see a team break the barrier, they just get wiped. They aren't able to get a proper follow-up. We saw a couple clams come in from the side of the usual suspects there. But right now, Los Inklings, they're looking to try and get their next win here. They don't want to go out just yet. Getting another game would tie up the set.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they need here. That ball coming out, not going to do as much as maybe they had wanted to. A couple of people go down, so that's not going to help them a lot there either.
Yeah, that was some great high ground play. Like, that gal almost got both picks right there. It looks like Teresa is going to be able to try and get something going here. They're taking the top route. They are totally going to be able to break that barrier. They have a power clam sitting around, but no one able to really pop it. Cass and Crispy looking to capitalize on the situation. Using the baller effectively, going to be trying to pick up that power clam. They are going to be able to dunk it in and they get the lead.
absolutely beautiful play there, coming in with that ball, deciding to pop it early, even though they dropped a bunch of their single clams. They do pick up that power clam and get the lead. And with only less than 30 seconds left, that was really the play of the game there. That's what they wanted to make sure that they got.
Oh my god, and that's so hard to fight against because now you enter into rush push mode, and you never want to be in that situation, but here they are. They still have a power clam open. They actually have 3 power clams available.
3.
Great snuff out from Cass. It's going to be so tough. It's going to be so close.
Oh, no! No, that's exactly what you never want. Miss and missed again. That's what you're talking about, that desperation push there. You know that you need to get in and as quickly as you can. So unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the game. And that's it for Usual Suspects on the side there. And that ties it up for the set. Very nice job there.
Let's talk a little bit about mentality, because it's good to be up 2 games. You're like, this is nice. I have some games we can relax on, maybe try out kind of a couple of weird picks, which I don't think we saw here come out today. But then you get run back. Then they get 1 game. You're like, it's whatever. Then they get 2 games, and you're like, ooh, this isn't really good. Especially when you're flubbing. They had the opportunity to start to run that back, if not just straight up win it. It's kind of tough. Because now you're like, oh no, hands start getting sweaty, the 3-0 comes up knocking at your door. Is it time? Are we going to see it? Los Inklings, are they ready to run it back?
Maybe. Definitely an opportunity for them to do so here. This reverse sweep, could be a thing, and I'm sure that they're going for it, and that's what they want. We're returning back to Splat Zones on Blackbelly Skate Park. This is a much more complex Splat Zone map than our first one on Sturgeon Shipyard, so it, can give the opportunity if kind of what Los Inklings excels at, maybe, if I can, are these kind of complex maps. This could be the shot that they're looking for.
Splat Zone's Blackbelly is something I personally do not like. I mean, the zones are so small, and it can work out. I mean, honestly, the baller plays, if you liked baller plays, and baller is definitely a great special for this kind of a map, able to just cover the entire zone in a single explosion. It's so frantic. Personally, I just like playing it. As a viewer, I enjoy it. I love it. I can't wait to get into it.
Oh yeah, I love playing it, and I love watching it. Blackbelly is one of my favorite maps for all modes. I think it's so much fun, especially if you need to push an objective to the opposing team's spawn. Having that right-hand choke section, that like half pipe, is so important. Here on Splat Zones, if you're playing a weapon that maybe uses Sprinkler or another kind of sub-weapon that you're able to drop something, a wall even, to kind of help maintain one of the smaller zones and then come in around the other side to take the second, is super helpful. The zones are also very decently small. A splashdown or a baller is going to be able to come in and cap one of those very quickly. So you need to be ready to, work with your team. So I can't wait to see it.
I think the Explosher, again, is just a really good weapon for this. We're going to be seeing it immediately. The Explosher, in just maybe 1 or 2 shots, is going to be able to put so much pressure on a zone. Plus, it's going to have bubbles. Plus, it's going to have sprinklers to keep its own zone. It actually might be one of the most ideal weapons for this map mode.
I completely agree with you. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing. And Nexus, we saw from that first game, really does know how to use that Explosher to its full potential. So definitely one to watch.
Yeah, good attempt from the brush, able to try and find a kill, but right now, it looks like Usual Suspects are just going to be able to keep a lockdown here. And again, just having this high ground. Man, if you have the high ground in this map and your team is good about watching for flanks, you're able to run a really solid number on the enemy team.
Yes, that's something that you really have to be aware of, this flank, because there's a lot of opportunity for flanks to happen within this map. Even having that inkjet come out, that's really not going to do enough for them. Like you were saying about having mid too, these special things that you have to really pay attention on this actual, this map mode combination might be a little bit different than some of the other ones.
And Los Inklings has been fighting for control for a while, but as I explained with this map, it can be kind of hard to eventually. It's kind of hard to take control. I mean, definitely, Usual Suspects doesn't want their overtime, or not their overtime, their bonus timer to kick in, but they've done a good job at preventing that.
Yeah, they haven't had an opportunity to get a penalty yet, which is really what they want, meaning that at least every time that 2 of their members go down, the other 2 are still in mid, able to continue to protect zones for them. And it just looks like Los Inklings is having a very difficult time doing it the other way around.
They can take one zone, but that's not all you have to do in this map. You have to take both, and unless you take both, you're just going to be fighting this endless battle of, well, usual suspects just controlling this area. Now, on the other hand, if Los Inklings can take the zone, that bonus timer is going to go skyrocketing, and they will have a chance, and they are going to be able to do that. Now, it's their time. Now, they're able to take control of mid, and if they can keep control of mid, they might be able to take back this game.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely put a really nice penalty on the side of usual suspects, and that's kind of what they're looking for here. They just need to kind of maintain control to make sure that they continue to break down their point, and, this could be their game.
Yeah, and able to just keep a little bit, although the Explosher coming in, yep, that is going to be the zone, right on back to usual suspects. They weren't able, or rather, Los Inklings were not able to get an amazing push, rather, or an amazing hold on the point. But this Inkjet might be able to change that, taking down 2 people immediately, maybe even a third right here if they can get Celeste. They are going to be able to hopefully take back the zone.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, Crispy coming in, definitely using that brush to its advantage. And, exactly kind of what they want here. Even Teresa using that splatling, they're trying to set up and get themselves in a good position where they're able to break down that point, which just doesn't seem like it's coming together for them just yet.
They haven't been able to maintain a good hold. They can take it, and they've been able to take it once or twice, but they haven't been able to just keep it away from usual suspects. Usual suspects is just finding their in. They still have a minute. They still have a minute, and they are about to get both zones. But when they just keep getting flanked like this and keep getting played in the neutral like this, it's not looking great for them in the long term.
Yeah,
but they are a team of comebacks.
For sure, and we've seen them do that so far. So, hopefully we can continue to see that. Otherwise, Usual Suspects has a pretty nice lead still, and they're continuing to tick down this point. So it's definitely something that, they're going to want to kind of maintain control here.
Ooh, good stuff. Just noticing that they're sewing up there and using that explosion pressure to just get them right out of there. The bubbles are going to be good, but they're just going to be shut down by Sam over there. Even if they maintain a slight capture, they got to hold it for a while in order to actually keep this game in their favor. It looks like they're just getting shut down right now. Usual Suspects able to just keep a good control over this game for a while, only having one person down. It's not enough. They need more than one person down, and even if they are able to take this zone, if Los Inklings are able to take this back, they need to keep complete control for a good long while.
Yeah, they have at least 52 points to kind of get through here. Not talking about their penalty there, and it just looks like at this point, Usual Suspects has been playing really well as a team.
That zone. Oh, it's gonna be tough.
And that is it. That is game. Great job for both teams there, and Usual Suspects taking that lead keeping that lead at the final minute to kind of end overtime there and take the game and the set.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I was talking about mentality, but hey, they were able to put the words right back in my mouth and run it back to saying no. Like they were able to get in. We respect them for that. But we're going to be winning this set. We won the first 2 games. We're going to show you why we won those first 2 games.
Yeah, and what's kind of really nice to see at the end there, you could see that a lot of the team is very varied. A lot of S pluses, only 1 X from either side. So I think it's really nice to see that teams who, are not kind of playing on the X rank level are playing in this tournament too. A big thing, a big push that Endgame had been working towards with InkStorm was making sure that